whispered hub. My name is Raha. I am a girl of 14 years old. I live in a small village in Brazil. The village is called Pico da Neblina. It is near the big forest called Amazon Forest. In my village, there are not many peoples. Only around 200 peoples live here. We all live in simple houses, made of wood and dry grass. But everybody is very friendly and happy. My family have a small farm near the village. We grow vegetables and fruits like tomatoes, potatoes, oranges, and bananas. We also have some cows, chickens, and pigs. Every day, I help my parents with work on the farm. One day, my mother told me exciting news. She said, "Raha, you will go to school next week to learn English." I felt very happy and also nervous. I never went to a real school before. I only learned little reading and math from my parents at home. But I always wanted to learn more, especially English language. The next Monday, I woke up very early feeling excited and little scared. I put on my best dress made of colorful cloth. I took a small bag with some food and a bottle of water. Then I start walking on the small dirt road towards the school. The school was not in our village. It was in the nearby town called Santa Isabel, around 5 kilometers away. I had to walk there and back every day. I didn't mind because I love walking and enjoy the nature around me. When I reached the school, I felt a little scared again. It was a big building I never saw before, with many rooms and children. An old, kind woman was the teacher. She showed me where to sit and gave me some books. The first few days were hard. I couldn't understand most of what the teacher said in English. The books looked confusing with so many new words, but I worked very hard every day. Slowly, bit by bit, I started understanding more. The teacher was very nice. If I had any problem, she always helped me patiently. She encouraged me to keep trying my best. The other children were also friendly, even though their English was better than mine. After a few weeks, I could follow the basic English lessons. I learned simple words like hello, thank you, colors, numbers, and more. I felt so proud when I could speak small sentences without too much difficulty. I enjoyed learning English. It opened a whole new world for me. I read small storybooks for children. I learned about different countries, cultures, and people's way of life. My dream was to one day speak English so well that I could meet people from other countries. Maybe I could even visit those places when I grew up. For now, I was happy going to school every day and soaking in all the new knowledge. A few months passed. I became better at understanding and speaking basic English with practice every day at school. However, I still had lots more to learn. One day, our teacher told us some exciting news. A new student from United States of America will join our class next week, she announced. He is 16 years old, and his name is Michael. I felt a mixture of nervousness and curiosity. I never met anyone from another country before. What would this Michael person be like? The following Monday, Michael arrived at our classroom. He looked different from us village kids. His skin was more pale white color. He had light brown hair instead of our typical black hair. But he had a friendly smile on his face. "Hello, everyone. My name is Michael," he introduced himself in English. Even though his words were simple, I could barely understand because of his strong American accent. Over the next few days, I observed Michael curiously. He looked so different from the rest of us. The way he dressed, the foods he ate for lunch, even the way he spoke and expressed himself seemed so unique. Slowly, I got used to his presence. Michael was very kind and patient, despite the language barriers. With the teacher's help, he tried his best to communicate with all of us using simple words and gestures. I was very curious to learn more about Michael's life in America. One day, I gathered my courage and approached him during the lunch break. "Hi, Michael, your life in America like what?" "What?" I asked slowly in broken English, struggling to find the right words. Michael seemed to understand what I was trying to ask. He smiled and started explaining in his American accented English. "In America, we live in big cities with tall buildings called skyscrapers. The houses are made of bricks and concrete, not wood like here. We drive cars or ride buses, not walk everywhere." I listened carefully, absorbing this fascinating new information. A place with buildings taller than trees, vehicles that moved on their own without being pulled by animals. It seemed like magic to my village girl mind. Over the next few weeks, Michael and I became good friends. He taught me more English words and phrases. In exchange, I taught him some Portuguese words from our local language. I asked him all kinds of questions about his home country, the food, culture, clothes, music, everything. Michael was a patient friend, and he answered all my curious queries with a smile. With his help, my English improved more quickly. I could now form fuller sentences and understand better when he spoke. A whole new world had opened up thanks to this new friend and the English language. I deeply regretted that Michael could only stay for 2 months as part of a student exchange program. When it was time for him to leave, I felt very sad to see my new friend go. "Don't be sad, Raha," he told me with a gentle smile. "We can write letters to each other in English and Portuguese. And one day, you must come and visit me in America." Emboldened by his words, I decided I would work twice as hard to become fluent in English. Who knew what amazing opportunities awaited me if I mastered this magical new language? A few years passed. I continued studying English diligently at the village school. Slowly but surely, my skills improved through daily practice with reading, writing, and conversation. By the time I turned 18, I could communicate fairly well in basic English. Of course, I still had an accent and made some mistakes, but I felt proud of how far I had come from those first days of confusion in the classroom. Now, it was time for the next big step. I decided to leave my village and continue my education at a larger school in the city. This was a difficult decision because it meant being apart from my family for the first time. My parents supported my choice, even though they would miss me greatly. "Education is the key to your future, Beta," my father told me with a proud smile. "Gaining knowledge, especially of English, will open so many doors for you." With tears in my eyes, but my head held high, I boarded the bus heading to the nearest big city, which was a full day's journey away. I had just one small bag containing a few clothes, books, photos of my family, and the precious letters from my old friend Michael. When I arrived at the large English language school in the city, I was stunned by its massive size and modern facilities. The classrooms were air-conditioned, with large whiteboards and computers. Nothing like the basic village school I was used to. I felt intimidated and out of place, especially when I heard my new classmates conversing fluently in English. Their accents were so different from the English I had learned. However, I took a deep breath and reminded myself. I had worked hard to reach this point. I would not give up despite the new challenges. My dream was to become an English expert and use those skills for a purposeful career. Over the next few years, I completely immersed myself in academics. With the help of kind teachers and new friends, I steadily improved my English vocabulary, grammar, writing abilities, and conversational skills. It was not easy. There were times I felt discouraged and overwhelmed, so far away from the comforts of my village life. But I persevered, reminding myself of the sacrifices my parents made and the opportunities that awaited me if I succeeded. As well as studying English, I also took classes in other subjects that interested me, like biology, environmental science, and social work. A new world of knowledge opened up for the once simple village girl. I missed my family terribly, but I made it a point to write them detailed letters every week in both English and Portuguese, describing my experiences. I also eagerly awaited letters from my childhood friend Michael in America. Finally, after 4 long years of hard work and determination, I graduated from the English language school with top scores. My parents were the proudest people alive on that celebration day when I received my hard-earned certificate. Holding that certificate in my hands was the best feeling ever. It was proof that my dream of English mastery was accomplished. But it was only the first step of many more adventures awaiting me thanks to this powerful language. After graduating, I decided to take a short break and return to my village for a few months. It felt wonderful to be back home in the peaceful, natural surroundings. My parents were overjoyed to have me back after so many years apart. As I walked the familiar dirt paths and helped out on the family farm again, I marveled at how much my perspective had changed. Thanks to my education, the village which once seemed like my entire world now felt just like a tiny speck. There was so much more to explore beyond these forested hills. One of the first things I did was to find my old English teacher from the village school. She gasped with pride when she saw how fluent I had become in the language. "Raha, my brilliant student, you have made me so proud," she exclaimed as we conversed easily in English. "Your dedication has paid off greatly. Thank you for giving me those first lessons with patience and care," I responded gratefully in English. "Without your guidance, I may have never discovered my passion for this beautiful language." My teacher insisted I visit the village school and speak to the children about the importance of learning English. With a feeling of nostalgia, I returned to the same classroom where my journey had begun. The children listened with rapt attention and awe as I spoke to them entirely in English about my experiences and achievements. By mastering this international language, a whole universe of opportunities awaited them too. If a simple village girl like me can travel so far through English, you can too, I told them ardently. Have faith, work hard, and never give up on your dreams. After 2 months living the village life again temporarily, it was time for me to move on to my next big adventure. Taking a deep breath, I boarded a bus to one of Brazil's largest cities, Sao Paulo. My English skills had helped me secure an internship at an international non-profit organization. I would be working to help underprivileged communities in areas like education, sanitation, and skill development. It was a huge change of scene from rural village life. Sao Paulo was a massive, crowded, cosmopolitan hub of activity and progress. Everywhere I looked, I saw tall buildings, bustling crowds, advertisements, and businesses related to global trade and commerce. Initially, I felt like a fish out of water yet again. But remembering my past struggles and successes gave me courage. If I could adapt from the village to university, I could transition into this urban professional life too. My role was to use my English fluency to collaborate with international teams and communicate with the local communities we worked with. It was incredibly fulfilling to finally put my linguistic skills towards making a positive impact. The first few weeks were admittedly stressful as I navigated corporate culture, deadlines, meetings, and conversations full of technical jargon. But I applied myself with full dedication, never shying away from asking questions to understand better. Slowly, everything started making sense. My reading, writing, and speaking abilities became more natural and confident in professional settings. I took pride in acting as a bridge between my organization and the people we served. After just a year, I was hired as a full-time employee at the nonprofit organization. My superiors were very impressed by my drive, capability, and English communication skills. I felt rewarded that the years of perseverance had paid off so fruitfully. In my new role, I got to travel frequently across Brazil and occasionally abroad to places like the United States and Europe. It was an eye-opening experience, interacting with people from such diverse backgrounds and cultures, all united by our shared English language. I relished these opportunities not just professionally, but personally too. I could engage in meaningful exchanges about philosophies, traditions, the arts, and more. My hungry mind soaked up all this new knowledge like a sponge. Sometimes, when I looked back at how far I had come, from that girl in the remote village to this globe-trotting, educated woman, it felt almost like a dream. English had been the backbone strengthening me throughout this whole incredible journey of transformation.